Hi, I'm Michaela Strachan and I'm a television wildlife presenter. I can honestly say that I've never seen my gender as a barrier for being a voice for nature. And I think that's partly because early on in my career, I met some truly inspirational female role models. From Lona Droscha-Nielsen, who is the founder of Boston Irie Menteng, who obviously made a huge difference for orangutans and their forest environments, to Dame Daphne Sheldrick, who founded the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust in Kenya and dedicated her life to elephants, to the wonderful Jill Robinson, who founded Animals Asia, who's still fighting to close down the bear-bile industry in China. You know, these are all my heroes. They're wonderfully strong women. They're passionate, they're compassionate, they've got empathy, they're dedicated, they're driven, and they've made a difference. You know, the scientific world may be dominated by men, although that is changing, but certainly the rescue and rehabilitation world is dominated by women. And I think men and women generally have very different strengths. And if we're going to fight for conservation and the rights for animals, then we need both of those strengths. Men and women have their roles and they have different roles, but together we can be incredibly strong. You know, I don't think it matters. It's not important what gender you are. If you're going to work in conservation, what's really important is passion. And if you have passion, you're going to find a role in the conservation world.
Nama saya Aldina Ramadhani, saya berasal dari Sumatera Selatan. Saya bekerja di Bos F Mawas, Divisi Pemantauan Lingkungan sebagai Koordinator Lapangan. Pada awal mulanya terasa sangat berat karena adanya keterbatasan sebagai seorang perempuan yang berbeda dari laki-laki pada umumnya. Namun karena kecintaan saya terhadap lingkungan dan konservasi semakin lama semakin tinggi, akhirnya saya bisa memecahkan keterbatasan tersebut walau dengan perlahan tapi pasti. Upaya bagi saya memiliki prinsip yaitu break the limit. Dengan cara saya ikut terjun langsung dalam kegiatan konservasi seperti menjadi surveyor langsung ke lapangan, bekerja dengan para laki-laki seperti tim saya dengan para bapak-bapak, langsung ikut andil dalam setiap kegiatannya, dan jangan mau kalah dari para laki-laki. Untuk semua wanita di luar sana, dimanapun Anda berada, yang ingin atau baru memulai untuk terjun langsung ke dunia konservasi, jangan takut untuk mencoba dan jangan takut untuk memulai. Karena di dalam dunia konservasi, wanita juga sangat dibutuhkan. Jangan pernah berpikir kamu tidak bisa, karena kalau belum memulai, jangan bilang tidak. Kita wanita kuat, kita wanita bisa.
I'm lucky enough to know a lot of women in the field who I can look up to for inspiration or tap on the shoulder for insight. But at the same time, there can be that feeling that you might be overlooked or that you might not be strong enough to handle the physical side of a situation, or that you might be seen as less knowledgeable. So there is that feeling of having to prove yourself, and that can be something that you're ready to face and challenge. Break the bias, to me, means showing the world that a scientist isn't just an old man with a white beard in a lab coat. It can be anyone, it can be you, it could be your neighbor down the road. Breaking the bias means showing that you can do it. And I've chosen to challenge the gender bias by continuing in the field of conservation. It's what my degree is in. When I did my graduate education for teaching, I was expected to become a classroom teacher, and my family sort of thought I would do that, and my cohort thought I would do that, but I didn't want to. I wanted to continue in the field of conservation with the purpose of education, and that's what I do now, and I'm really proud about it. For women and girls who want to work in the field of conservation, I say just get started. There's opportunity out there. You sometimes have to seek it out yourself. You have to make the opportunity for yourself, but there are options there. The best thing you can do is just ask. Send an email, make a phone call, introduce yourself, and just start. You're never too young. You know, you start at a young age, but also you can never be too old. If you're thinking, oh, it's too late for me, there's always that chance to get involved. You have to take the step, you have to make the effort and work hard at it. But everyone can do it, and it's one of the best things. I definitely enjoy it.
Nama saya Hani Puspitasari, biasa dipanggil Hani. Saya seorang ibu, punya tiga orang putra. Kalau pada saat suami kita sakit, maka di saat kita tidak punya pekerjaan, kita tidak punya pola pikir untuk membantu suami, kita seperti merasakan kehilangan kaki dan tangan kita. Tapi apabila kita punya pekerjaan dan kita mampu untuk melakukannya, tidak ada salahnya kita untuk membantu. Dan hal itu sangat sekali bisa meringankan beban suami kita atau laki-laki yang berdampingan dengan kita dan juga keluarga kita. Intinya jadilah wanita yang mandiri, wanita yang kuat, punya rasa percaya diri, dan tidak ada salahnya untuk mencoba. Jangan pernah putus asa. Lakukanlah selagi kamu punya keinginan dan kemauan, pasti akan ada jalan.
Bagi saya, bekerja di konservasi merupakan hal yang menyenangkan, menarik, dan juga menantang. Hal-hal tersebut membuat dia menghambat untuk memulai langkah karena terlanjur takut duluan atau takut dipandang seperti takut dipandang tidak layak oleh orang lain. Untuk menghadapi tantangan itu sendiri, saya membuktikan dengan ikut berkontribusi dalam bidang konservasi ini sebagai pembuktian diri saya sendiri tentunya, dan mematahkan anggapan bahwa wanita itu lemah. Bekerja di konservasi itu bebas untuk siapa saja. Jadi, wanita juga memiliki kesempatan yang sama. Siapapun kamu dapat berperan dalam kontribusi di konservasi.
As a woman in conservation, it can be both very emotionally challenging, but also personally rewarding. Dedicated, hardworking, and empathetic, that's the reason why I think women are so incredibly important to the conservation model. As a woman who has worked in conservation for almost 30 years, I have certainly seen a huge amount of change. As women, we bring empathy, understanding, hard work, and commitment. And regardless of your gender, the key to conservation success is about that shared platform, that shared voice, where it's based on an ability to work together and to build capacity for a shared future. My advice to any woman starting on the conservation journey is to make sure she surrounds herself with a great deal of support. Conservation can be incredibly rewarding. It requires hard work, dedication, and commitment, the good times and the bad times. But it's about the journey, finding a way through and knowing that as women, we have made a difference.